Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is the Mental Wellness channel with Waihiga. If you're new here, I hope that you stick around and take a listen to what I have to share. Today, I want to talk about the friends that I lost to alcoholism. Obviously, this is going to be a heavy episode, so when I started the Mental Wellness channel, when I started this channel, at the back of my mind was always the people that died. The people that I used to drink with back in college that sadly lost their lives to addiction to alcoholism. The people that I was around in campus, the people that, I drank with in 2013, 2014, 2016, and they're no longer here. They didn't get to experience recovery, they didn't get to sober up. They literally just died in their 20s. And those are the people that I want to honor today. We may not have been like really, really tight, but they're some of the people that I constantly think about, especially when I'm thinking about drinking again. I definitely think about these people a lot. Or when I have a milestone in my life, when I'm turning a year older, when I'm celebrating another year of recovery, I think about these people. Like, this guy died when he was 21. Where would he have been at this age? What would he have been able to accomplish at this point in time? So I'm gonna quickly talk about how each of their deaths happened and how it affected me and my drinking journey. The first death that happened was in 2013, and it was a guy he was my neighbor. He introduced me to Tomorrowland, these epic rave shows and EDM house music. He was like my neighbor. We stayed in the same block of apartments. Well, I stayed in one block, he stayed in the other block. And we just started drinking together, and we used to hang out a lot. Right before he died, there was a Thursday night. We used to have these really deep conversations. But right before he died, there was a club near school. It was called Tutilas or something like that. So it was very chaotic out there, and I was running after someone, and he pulled me back. He was like, "Waihiga, I really need to talk to you. I really want to talk to you about something." And I told him, yeah, we'll talk. And he was like, "No, I want to talk to you now." And I looked at him, and he looked like eerie. He looked at me with like a really deep knowing or something. And I dismissed it, and I said, "No, I'll talk to you later." And that was the last time I saw him. The next I heard, he had slipped or been pushed off the 5th floor or the rooftop of the apartment that he lived in with a roommate. And he'd survived. He'd broken his leg, he'd survived. But after a couple of hours, he didn't make it. And that was the first death. That was in 2013. I couldn't believe that he died, because I'd seen him on a Thursday night. We said that we were gonna talk, and then he was gone, the next week. I think this happened on a Saturday night or a Friday night. And the next week we were at his funeral, and I went to his funeral really drunk. That's something I'm not proud of. I remember seeing his body, and I was also really drunk. It was really shocking too. That's the first dead body I'd ever seen. And then afterwards, all of us, we got together. We went to a bar, and we started taking shots, and that's what we did. We honored him in that way by taking shots of drinks and saying rest in peace. So that's how the first friend died, 2013. The second friend, he wasn't really a friend, but he was definitely someone that drank in our circle. He literally fell and hit his head and fell backwards. So he couldn't turn around, he couldn't move, and he gargled on his own vomit, or he suffocated on his own vomit. He couldn't turn around to get the vomit out. And we came across his body on a Monday morning where he had died. And this was 2014. After looking at his body, I just said, we need to drink. And that's what we did. We went and we drank. And it took hours for the police to come and get his body. There was speculation that someone had killed him or something like that, but it seemed alcohol related. It was just really sad and scary. The third death was a friend or acquaintance that I had seen, or it looked like it was coming for a long time. This person was sickly and had jaundice, and they were just our age, like 22, 21. And his stomach was like really swollen all the time. His eyes were like bloodshot all the time, brown, yellow, and he would get sick often. He'd be shaking all the time. It's so sad. So when he passed away, I was in rehab. This was in 2015. And when I got out of rehab, I heard the news that he was gone. Multiple organ failure at the age of 22. It was something crazy. The fourth person was a woman, and she died at, I believe it was 27, all alcohol related as well. And it's scary because you see people that you're drinking with dying. They're no longer here. And it's you next. But you can't comprehend. You can't understand. You don't know how you're going to get sober because you have the disease of alcoholism. So you don't know how you're going to do it. Like, how are you going to get sober? So you see this train wreck coming towards you. Like, okay, the train of death is coming towards me. All my friends are dying around me and I can't do anything about it. I also can't stop drinking. And you just kind of wait around for you to be next. And dying from alcoholism is like, it's one of the worst ways to die. Because by the time a person is dying from alcoholism, it has stripped you of every dignity, human dignity that you can ever think of. By the time you're dying from alcoholism, the people that love you the most, your family, whoever knows you, is begging for you to be dead. It's such a prolonged death. It's such a long death. It's so drawn out and long and painful. And it's sad that these friends of mine, these acquaintances, dealt with that at 21, at 22, at 23, and had to pay severe consequences, which was death. I don't know if they had tried recovery. I know some had been to rehab before, but I don't know if they'd actually given recovery a shot. But I know, like, being at that age, it was hard. It was hard for me to understand that I could be sober, or I wanted to be sober at that age. Like, I'm in my 20s, I'm 21. What do you mean I have to give this up? What do you mean I have to give alcohol up? I don't want to do that. I wanted to party my pants off. And the last death was a guy that I was in rehab with, or I'd met at the halfway house. And we were actually doing counseling classes together. And I was 6 months sober. And I thought he was doing pretty well. Like, we were trying to be sober. I thought he was also trying to be sober. But he relapsed, and his choice of drugs, or drug of choice, was heroin. And when he overdosed, he didn't make it this time. He died. And that one also shook me to the core, because this was someone I spent every day with for the past 6 months. And then he relapsed, and then he died, and he was only 23 years old. Like, that to me was wild. Like, people were dropping like flies. So when I tell you that addiction is not a joke, when I tell you that alcoholism is not a joke, when I tell you these things, don't think I'm playing you. One relapse and it's over. It can be over for you. You're not staying sober for family. You're not staying sober to make other people happy. You're staying sober to keep yourself alive. And that's why recovery has to be done for yourself. If you're doing it for anybody apart from yourself, it just won't work. So I really urge you to get help. If you are struggling with drinking, if you're struggling with a drug, move past the shame, move past the guilt, get help. Google online, go onto Google and look for a 12-step program. Look for online meetings and get yourself into a meeting right now. Because a lot of people that should be in recovery are not, because they're dead. So kindly like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I just wanted to do this video to honor my dead friends that didn't make it into recovery. Thank you for watching. Also, let me know what you think below in the comments. I'd really like to hear your thoughts below. Thank you.